Spain have beaten Belgium 2-1 to make it through to the World Cup semi-final. You know, they were pushed by Belgium a lot, but in the end the better team won, and the team that was superior on the day won as well. In the end, I thought, particularly in that second half. It used to be closer than a lot of people thought. You know, Spain, a lot of people's convincing favourites for this game. I knew Belgium had been better than expected, and you know, grown into the tournament a lot, found their form in front of goal. You know, the build-up play was always there in the group stage, even in those first two draws that were quite underwhelming. We see them found some cutting edge against New Zealand, but still not that too exciting. It took ages to get going against Senegal. We're on the brink of going out, but eventually got it together, and they carried that form over into the United States game where they completely wiped the floor with them, and they ended up being one of the tournament's top scorers coming into this game, and it looked like they'd improved quite a bit, and I thought they had a genuine real chance of winning yesterday. And I think, you know, the fact it was such a tight game shows that, but it's these types of games Spain are so good at winning. You know, for example, the Euro final 2024, you know, beat England right at the end. They were the better side, but very finely balanced going into the sort of final minute, but they find a way to get a goal. And then the same with Portugal as well, finely balanced, Spain slightly superior, and they find a way through. And you know, they've done that to France a few times over the last few years, and they've done that yesterday to Belgium, and I think that's their biggest strength. Even in the tight games, they find a way through. Even if they're not at their best, even if they make mistakes themselves, they still find a way to do enough, and they still find the way in the big moments to step up and find the winning goal. And they're not short of late goals either. They're always able to score late goals in tight games. They're games that look like they're destined for extra time, like yesterday. They always find a way to. They always seemingly find a way to grab a winner right at the end. And it's going to take a really, really strong team, I think, to beat them. Someone who's really, really good in front of goal. And France may be the only team that could. I mean, it'll be really interesting to see how that game plays out. That was definitely the two favourites, I think, going head to head in that game. We'll come to that, but like I say, as for yesterday, you know, Belgium, it was a tight game, it was a close game, but Spain was superior, and I think this is why they scored a late goal. Spain is because, you know, they wear teams out and teams run out of energy against them, and I think they look for the space in those moments and they come. But I think where Belgium will be really kicking themselves is they did a lot right yesterday. I think it was a mistake. It really was a mistake from the keeper, a horrendous mistake that was avoidable in many ways, maybe. That, you know, ultimately won the game for Spain. So they'll be kicking themselves. So despite everything, Belgium, they looked like they'd held on to extra time. They looked like they was going to take the game to extra time, and it was a mistake that led to the goal. And I think they'll be kicking themselves over that because, well, yeah, disappointing. But I think, you know, the game early on was very finely poised, very evenly balanced. I thought Spain had the slightly better of the opening 20 or so before the drinks break, but not really much in it. Belgium had some chances at the other end as well, and both teams are good footballing sides. Both teams build up well, both teams move the ball well, and it was a good game to watch in that sense, because there was a lot of attacking football on show. And like I say, Belgium, for them, that was the last chance for a lot of their kind of older sort of generation players, or the players from that sort of golden generation. De Bruyne, that was ended up being his last World Cup game. Same probably with Courtois as well. De Bruyne will be 39 at the next World Cup. With his current injury record, there's no way he'll be able to play in that. And yeah, I mean, but they have got a lot of promising younger players as well, and a lot of players with energy as well that can attack well. And I thought, you know, they was creating chances of their own as well. But it was after that second drinks break where Spain really come out well, you know, and the ball initially comes into the box, and initially there's a save and they fail to clear, and then it is of course Fabian Ruiz who gets the goal, and Spain there 1-0 up. They really make the most of that sort of 5-minute period. They really come out of that drinks break well. But Belgium, I thought, was impressive in that first half as well. They grew back into it. They didn't sort of let that, you know, Spain, when they've gone 1-0 up in every game so far, that's been it. No one scored past them so far. They've set a record for World Cup clean sheets in a row. They're coming to this game having not conceded a goal in a single game yet. Best defensive team in the tournament without that. And I've said this for a while. I thought, you know, Spain have got the best defence, France have got the best attack. That's what's going to make that game so special. But there's not a lot in it either way. Because we know Spain have got the ability to be ruthless in front of goal as well. But Belgium, they grow into this, and they was the first team that could really stand up to Spain in that regard. Like Portugal couldn't manage it. No one in the group stage could manage it. Austria got nowhere near them in that round of 32 fixture. So, you know, they work this goal well. Belgium, you know, they put this good play. It's a good ball in. From Castanier, and again, I can't not actually understand how to say his name, but he's his header on the go. gets his header on the ball, gets them the goal, gets them back in it. Di Caretta, is that how you say it? Something like that. But he gets them. He's been impressive this tournament. It's a good header, sort of a diving header, and he gets them back into the game. Belgium at a crucial point as well as it's coming up to half time. Gets the game, really back in the balance, and really sort of gives Belgium a real boost as well, a real boost of confidence as well against the Spain side that have not conceded yet. They've managed to do something that no one's done yet. So Spain, it got to give them something to think about going into that second half, because not effort. Spain, there wasn't perfect. Jesse, neither team was perfect, but that was why it was a game that could go either way, and that's what Spain are good at. They don't necessarily have to be at their best to find a way past other top sides. Because I thought Lamau, sometimes I thought a few of the passes were misplaced. I thought there was times where they lost the ball, but every time they lost it, they was able to win it back, it seems. And there was moments like that. And I have to say as well, a player I've been really impressed with for Spain this tournament. Someone I didn't really rate coming into the tournament as well. Someone I necessarily didn't really think about. Spain, when I sort of did a video where I sort of named all the great players they've got before the tournament, it's not even someone I mentioned. Pedro Porro, seriously impressive in this tournament. He's been excellent. He's been outstanding. He's just been so lively. He's been making so much happen. He's been working so hard, and he's really has some top performances. And I thought he was really good again yesterday. Really making it happen for them. But Spain in that second half, they very much dominated. They very much dominated the ball, and they very much were the team that was forcing the issue. There's very much the team creating the most chances. But the thing with Belgium is when they did get time on the ball, they did look dangerous on the counter attack as well. It did look dangerous coming forward themselves. And I think they always have Belgium in this tournament, even when they wasn't scoring as much. And there was that one good chance. If Lukaku maybe have got there, I'm not sure. It was a good ball into the box. It didn't quite reach Lukaku. There's a few other moments where they really sort of pushed through it as well. And a lot, it was very much a lot of Spain chances, but it was also looking like a game that could go to extra time. But we know Spain they do seem to find a way in these really tight games to grab a late winner, and that is what ended up happening in the end. But a key moment in this game, I think, that really sort of knocks Belgium's confidence. Thibaut Courtois going down injured, a big player for them, and one of the best goalkeepers of this generation, someone that Belgium have, really would have heavily relied on as well. I think going beyond the 90 as well, if they had that in the plans as well. And him going down injured was always a blow. And there was something a bit weird, but it's after the game he come out and said, I could have played on, but the manager took me off, which I'm not sure about, because it took a while to make the decision whether to bring him off or not. But they do eventually. They bring Lemans on, and obviously decent season for United. But it was ultimately him who had the horror moment in this game, which sent his team out of the tournament. I support Chelsea. I wanted to see Mike Penders come on, just because he's never played an international. I've not actually seen enough of him. I wanted to see what he could do, but they go for the player that's slightly more experienced, slightly more tried and tested, which I understand. But if there's any way Courtois should have played on, I think he should have done. But at the end of the day, it might be one of those things as well where because often players want to play on even if they are injured, and I think it's a difficult one, that, and we might never really know the full extent of it, whether he could have played on or not really. But he did not look happy at all when he was coming off. But you wouldn't anyway, even if he couldn't play on. But he didn't go down the tunnel or anything. He stayed on the bench. And Spain, I think, from this point really did push the winner. I think Belgium sort of maybe sat back a little bit. Maybe but I do think Spain naturally they wear teams out, and naturally they the way they move the ball so well, they move the ball so quick, and top teams can get to the point where they're just worn out against them. And I think that's what they really prey on in those last minutes, and I think that's really how they grab these late goals sometimes, Spain. But they do eventually find it. Again, they'll be so annoyed that it was a mistake. Camarabasso takes a shot, and then Lemans takes it, just grabs it, and he drops it, and it goes straight out in the path of two players, and you see Williams and Moreno both running in. It's another late goal for Moreno. He's got the last minute winner in both games. Not quite as late as the Portugal goal in the stoppage, the goal in the Portugal game in the stoppage time, but 7 minutes in. From there, we sort of knew it was game over, even with 7 added minutes. Belgium have had all the momentum knocked out of them, and without the goalkeeper, De Bruyne make his last World Cup appearance as well. It very much felt like, that's it now. Belgium, they couldn't have done much more this tournament. If they won the group and they won the knockout games that looked like they should have won on paper, and they weren't even favourites in the US game in the end, but they got past them with ease. Coming into the Spain game, we knew this fixture was a possible fixture before the tournament. We always thought that that's probably as far as they go. That's probably the ceiling for this particular Belgium team. But they'll be kicking themselves a bit, because I feel like their fans will look at that and feel like, there was possibly a game we could have possibly have won yesterday. So there'll be a bit of regret there, I think, as well. And I think there'll be a lot of disappointment with how it played out in the end with the injury, with the mistake. The fact it was a mistake, if it wasn't for the mistake, it probably would have gone extra time. Of course, I was there and saved that. It might well have gone extra time, and it could have well have been very different for extra time. You know, we've not really seen how Spain would do for an extra time yet. We didn't see that. You know, we haven't seen that in this tournament. We know they beat Germany in Euro 2024 on extra time, but England nearly took them to extra time. That didn't happen. We've seen them get a lot of late goals in games that look like it's heading to extra time. So we'll see how if the extra time does come about, we'll see how that goes. But again, obviously, as soon as Lehmann's made the mistake, the camera crossed straight to Courtois, shaking his head. I'm not sure. There's always seems to have been a bit of a split in the Belgium camp because of off the field stuff. We'll see how what the fallout is from this. Because they obviously have to, if Courtois does retire from international football, they'll have to make the decision of what goalkeeper to go for as well. We don't really know enough about penalties yet, but definitely got potential to be a top keeper. But we'll see. Now Spain make it through in the end. Tight game. It was a good game to watch. A lot of attacking football on the show. I thought both teams had good moments in the game. In the end, Spain capitalised on a mistake. Mikel Moreno again with a last-minute goal. You know, they have a good. It's very even. You know, Spain had a very good period, get themselves in front, but Belgium finished that half really strong. Second half, you know, started the same way, but Spain very much got themselves on top. As soon as the injury happens, Spain pretty much from there stepped up a notch, found the winner off the back of a mistake, which is where I think Belgium will be most gutted about. But they do make it through to set up a massive semi-final, possibly like the biggest game of the tournament. We said that a lot, but France against Spain, we know, is now on that side of the bracket. The other quarterfinals coming later, but that one's huge. I mean, the winner of that game will likely be the favourite in the final. These two have been the most impressive so far. France in their ability to score goals and all the options they've got in attack and how well that attack functions, and not bad defensively either. They've not conceded a goal in the knockout stage. Spain didn't concede a goal up till yesterday, and are very clinical in front of goal at times as well. So. And both of them have got one of the best squads and best tactical setups around. So both have winning experience in fairly recent tournaments as well. So that's going to be a great game. I'll have to have a think about my prediction for that. I would have said one thing before the tournament. France are slight favourites now, but before the tournament that might have been the other way. But the other side of the bracket was a lot more like I saw a lot of different matchups in the semi-final. A lot of people had England and Argentina, which is possible. A lot of people had Portugal there. You know, there was Brazil as well. A lot of people mentioned some other teams have even mentioned as well. But this side of the bracket, well, a lot of people on this content creators, loads of people did the predictor. I did it actually before the tournament, where you did a prediction bracket and. Spain against France, majority of people, I say about 90% of people had that on that matchup on that side of the bracket, and neither team's put a foot wrong so far. Both teams have lived up to the expectation, and both teams have made it there so far. And we're going to get one of the most anticipated games of the tournament, and I can't wait for it. It's going to be a great game. It's at a watchable time as well, UK time, for most of Europe as well. It's going to be a watchable time, 8 PM kick-off for us. So it's going to be a great game. It's going to be really great to watch, and I can't wait to see that. But even more so, what I can't wait for, England and Norway tonight. We are, of course, playing tonight, and ahead of this game, I have only one thing to say: come on, England! But I will see you in the next one. Big result for Spain, though. They have booked their place in the semi-final.